Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Tapanji is also with us. So quite nice to meet you. And I was going through your fabulous website, and it really entails आप लोग जो कर रहे हो. And it's quite something terrific which is happening at eASHWA. So, so we'll
Thank
be
you so
starting in
much
a
for
couple of
your kind words.
yeah. So So we have a very vast milieu of champions of e-mobility coming on these talks. So we started with Bhubaneswar and we went to Pune, and today we have like our backyard of Ghaziabad. तो so एक भारत दर्शन हो रहा है अलग अलग जगह पर. What all is happening? Tapan bhai, are you there? He's having some issues. Yeah, he's coming. And the name is so unique, eASHWA. The way so हम लोग engineering में horse power की बातें तो पढ़ते थे, घोड़े तो अब रहे नहीं. But beautifully you have summarized the spirit of it all. So great.
So when we thought of the name, we wanted to develop something like horsepower, because the Ashwa is basically a symbol of consistency and speed.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
from the very ancient time, the Ash was considered to be a symbol of consistency as well as speed. And reliability as well. So we thought, let us keep the word eASHWA, because it is not a original Ash but an electric Ash. So why not eASHWA?
The spirit has been retained so very well. Yeah. So
So we have few unique features on our website, which I am sure some of the
we will be going through it all, sir, because it's quite a lovely website. And yes, hello and welcome to today's e-mobility talks. And we are today having one of the quite a very interesting champions of e-mobility today, the founder of eASHWA Automotive from Ghaziabad, Mr. Vikas Gupta. Sir happens to be a hardcore finance professional, but the functionality of e-mobility, the way he has championed, is something mind-boggling. So in this journey, we started with Jagannath Rath Yatra. We had our first e-mobility champion from the east coast of India. Yesterday, we met a very young dynamic entrepreneur from Pune, the automobile capital of the country. And today we move back to north of India to our own backyard of Ghaziabad, the industrial hub in the national capital region. And having Mr. Vikas Gupta on the show, and it's a terrific work. First and the foremost, the name eASHWA, it captures the fascination and fancy of one and all. And you can, as you can see on the backdrop of Sir's background, the eASHWA logo has an Ashwa right away. तो घोड़ों की बात हमारी परंपरा में अनादिकाल से होती रही है. महाराणा प्रताप के चेतक से लेकर और सारा का सारा महाभारत का युद्ध, हमारे यहाँ तो अश्वों की ही बात है. इन मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग वी स्टिल हैव हॉर्स पावर एज वन ऑफ द यूनिट्स of power, of force. That is what it goes on. So we welcome Vikas sir, who is the founder and CFO. Now this is quite a very, very interesting combination. We rarely find that the finance head is coming forward to be the founder and who is really steering through the futuristic nuances of an area called eMobility, where batteries, where all kind of motor technology. So the I would say that the technical word is now being, I would say, interestingly touched upon by a great finance guy who has a vision. So it will be very, very interesting today in today's session as to what propelled him in the first place to found eASHWA and to really contribute to the e-mobility space of the country. So this would be my first question, a welcome question to Vikas sir. Welcome you, sir, on the show.
My pleasure. So, thank you so much for your such a warm welcome and so many kind words, which I have never had an opportunity to heard. But yes, you have used those words. I am really thankful to you,
sir.
So if I talk about where this idea, the whole idea came from.
Yeah.
So from the very education time, I had an inclination of doing something new. So I spent about 22 years in various organizations, and the toughest thing which my bosses used to handle was my demand for them for every time a new work. After every 2-3 months, I used to get bored with the routine usual work, and I used to go back to them and ask for something new. And that is what happens when I started my journey of entrepreneurship. I started with an organization called the Virtual Group, wherein we provide accounting and compliance outsource services.
Okay.
And then thereafter, it happens that I got I thought I'm not utilizing my complete skills in doing what I have been doing in my job as well as in my professional educational career. So then electric was the buzzword about 4 years back when we thought about this segment, and then with the help of my co-founders, I thought why not go for this interesting journey of electric, which has started picking up from that time when we started this venture of ours.
Sir, in the finance world, they say that the financiers have an eye for the future, F for finance and F for future, because that's where you put up your hard money to something, a futuristic sector. So what is your larger vision? How do you see the e-mobility space growing in the context of India, when obviously the petrol prices have been deliberately put in the 3 digits, I would say, bracket, somewhere to prod, somewhere to make the citizens understand that $100 billion US import annually is not sustainable for a 5 trillion economy of India. We have to really grow. We just cannot send our foreign forex for oil import. So what is your overall vision, the macro, as we always go to our finance friends to really get a peep into the whole sector?
Okay, sure. So very nice question, sir. And I would say that if there is something which could be percolated down to a mass scale of people, then I think that is the industry which will grow in a country like India. Now, if you see a conventional fossil fuel based vehicle, so those industries are extensively capital intensive industries.
Okay.
You can't even think of setting up an industry by someone of a financial status like me or my partner. And then all the partners, all the distributors, all the dealers which get connected to that industry ought to have at least 5 to 10 cr of capital with them. I'm just talking about the distributors and the dealer network. I'm not talking about setting up the venture itself. Now, the
Okay.
beauty of electric vehicle venture is that in case you do not have sufficient capital, and you have capital in the range of 10 to 20 lakh only, and you can afford to go for ICAT certification, WMI certification, those kind of things
Mhm.
at that small capital. I think there is an opportunity for you to start a venture like electric vehicle assembly or a electric vehicle manufacturing unit. And in the similar fashion, a dealer, a distributor need not have crores of rupees available with them in order to set up a venture with them.
Mhm.
They can very well start it with about 6 to 10 lakh rupees of investment, and that is what the beauty of this segment itself is. So you can very well percolate it down to a very large scale of partners associated to you.
Mhm.
So if I take example of eASHWA Automotive, today we have about 110 dealers and distributors attached to us.
Mhm.
None of them have invested more than 20 lakh rupees at any point in time.
Mhm.
Now this is the beauty of the industry. With a small investment of 6 to 10 lakh rupees, you get an opportunity to start an earning for a full family.
Okay. Okay.
You can start it with a small capital, and then slowly over a period of 1 to 2 years you can grow it in the form of about 10 to 15 or maybe 20 lakh rupees of invested money into that venture, and then you can very well earn for a small 4 to 5 people family
Mhm.
over the.
You're basically saying that the from manufacturing to distributorship, the entire spectrum of e-mobility is low cost. It's low capital.
Absolutely, that is where I am coming from. And
Mhm.
in a country like India, where the capital is not available, bank finance again is not very easily available.
Mhm.
So you need to have industries like this, whereby you can generate a lot of employment. That is one. Two, you can generate capital. You can generate goods which can be used by mass scale of people. So
Mhm.
those are the three features which I feel are very unique to electric vehicle segment, and no other industry can be comparable to this industry insofar as these three features are concerned.
Lovely, lovely. So we glanced through this very innovative model of expansion of eASHWA. So when a financial wizard enters into a high-tech sector like e-mobility, now what kind of innovations would really come through? And probably this is somewhere you have tried to create a beautiful model of co-assemblers, and you are very proud in announcing it all through that this entire I would say ecosystem of e-mobility manufacturing and distributorship can be really taken to the hinterland. So would you like to just explain this wonderful model which you have championed and which has led you to such an immense growth across?
Thank you so much for praising this. See, when we started this venture, or maybe when I started my virtual group venture, the only vision, the only mission which I was having was to create more and more employment for the
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
with the same kind of vision, we started this venture of eASHWA Automotive. Now, when we thought of as to how do we want to grow and to attach more and more people with our organization, so the first thing which came to us was
Yeah, bit of a jittering probably. Yes. There's some connectivity issue. I think, yes. Mhm, mhm. So I think we have lost Picasso for the moment. We will be coming back with him. So what we had asked upon is that they have a very unique proposition of having a co-assembler at every 200 kilometers periphery, and which covers 6 to 10 districts, wherein co-assemblers have the exclusive rights of making and selling electrical vehicles in eASHWA. So somewhere or the other, their vision is not to keep a very centralized facility of assembling the entire uh, uh, I would say e-mobility vehicles, but they are distributing it across so that it becomes really competitive out there. So let's wait for a while for Vikas ji to join in and explain it on his own. Till then, let me show you what kind of product lines they have got, and most importantly, eASHWA's website is quite out of uh, I would say quite differentiated from the other players. You see that they have a lot of special day celebrations. They celebrate the Doctors' Day, Happy Navratri. So quite an engagement with the community. It keeps on happening. Family Day, and and as we can see that his emphasis has been all about employment generation. So the commitment really comes out in the action. They are not just words alone. Word environment is so a lot of, you can see they have got a nice communications team. And as we had when we were talking with Mr. Junjunwala from the East Coast, from Bhubaneswar, in the inaugural edition, they all talked about that awareness is the only thing which will demystify the entire space of e-mobility. And in the commercial space, obviously the rickshaws, the loaders, it has come in a big way, but maybe the two-wheeler space he was talking about. So then eASHWA's fight against unemployment, and so this is what they've been trying in their own fashion. Day one, day two. So it's quite very finely organized out here, I think. And so this is their entire communications campaign which the eASHWA team is probably working towards. So it's worth visiting. It's quite knowledgeable, I would say. Then they have certain invitations. So they have a lot of openings. They are probably having Kasimpura Mau. They have gone up to Mau, the inaugural in Kushinagar, in Vallabhgarh, Faridabad. Then they're everywhere. So if you just want to have what all areas they have spread across, they are Mavana, they are in Bagpat. So they've touched quite a span of things. Then they have a good social media presence, social media posting they are making in a big way, as we can see. So the two-wheelers see the stylish and the jazzy ones, which we have. I think, yes, we have Vikasa, he's joining us. So this is the kind of a beautiful, mesmerizing, I would say, creative campaign. We would come to him as to what kind of an agency, what kind of innovation they have done in terms of creating such lovely communications. Then other gallery coming soon and all that stuff they have got. So let's just stick. Yes. So then this is the executive team behind eASHWA. Vikas Gupta ji is the founder and CFO. Then they have a powered the chief technological officer, and Mr. Puneet Malhotra, who is the commercial director. So this is how the triumvirate at eASHWA, as we can say, they are there. And these are some of their offices. Their corporate address is in Chandarnagar, Ghaziabad, and the plant address is again in Sanjay Nagar, and factory address is again it's Rajnagar extension. They are over there. So I can go on. Then I would be asking one very, yeah, I think we are joined in back. Sir, you have to unmute. You have to unmute, sir. Unmute, sir. Yeah.
So my apologies. I don't know what has happened. Suddenly,
Not
my
at all, not at all, sir. These are the times of. So in the meantime, when you were away, I was showing our audience the entire lovely gallery at eASHWA, and probably I will pick up the conversation from there itself. I said that in our very first episode, we were interviewing Mr. Junjunwala, Suresh Junjunwala ji from Bhubaneswar. So he said that awareness is very much important for the acceptance and adoption of e-mobility, especially in the consumer segment. The commercial segment has picked up quite well. So I was just telling that, see the kind of lovely communications campaign which the eASHWA team, and I would pose a question. I was asking the viewers that I would pose what kind of innovation, who actually creates this, because otherwise hiring a creative agency is quite a task. So who does all this lovely mesmerizing stuff at eASHWA, sir? And then we will come back to the dealership and the other strategic aspect, because it is quite mesmerizing and it is quite very very professional, I will say, and very much up to the mark. क्योंकि आज अगर अखबार उठाइए तो आज आपको इसी तरह के क्रिएटिव्स मिलेंगे, आईसी इंजन वाला जो मेन स्ट्रीम मोबिलिटी का सेगमेंट है, एंड दैट इज व्हाट द यंगस्टर्स और एवरीवन इज फ्लॉकिंग टुवर्ड्स. सो ये आपने ये जो कम्युनिकेशन, दिस इज क्वाइट यूनिक, बिकॉज out of all the players we have been researching and doing it, I think this is something very very striking, very professional, very progressive, and टक्कर का है जिसको कहते हैं with the mainstream IC engine वाला play. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So we have a wonderful digital marketing team employed with us.
Okay.
And their job is to at least create 1 to 2 banners in a day. And for every festival, they create a separate banner apart from this 1 to 2 creative banners, just to create the awareness about the electric vehicle. So we have launched a series of knowledge sharing. We have launched a series of employment sharing and all those kind of series. If you go to this window itself, you'll find some employment generation related eASHWA fight against unemployment. Day by day, we create a campaign whereby we basically try to have people attached to us, to have people feel associated with the organization. So that is the mantra. And in the similar fashion, whenever we inaugurate an outlet of ours, we basically send these digital invitation card, and then for every outlet with the number, we create a cake, a beautiful picture cake that we create, that we gift to that outlet while we are inaugurating that. So you can see these are the kind of cakes that we prepare with the number of the outlet. So on the coming Sunday, we are inaugurating our 100 store 100. Now this is the cake that we prepared for it, and we will be cutting this cake at the time of inauguration. So this is our way of basically attracting people towards the organization using some unique digital marketing techniques, so that people feel associated with us, and then at the same time we get some branding mileage out of it.
Yes. I would really like to congratulate you, sir. While all the players largely they remain grappled in the technological and the back end aspects of it all, you have realized the power of messaging and marketing, and somewhere that is something which creates the brand and sustains the momentum, and somewhere you are also creating that competitive spirit from the MSME EV space to the larger players in the market. So this is again very very fascinating perspective at eASHWA, and we will come back to our original question when we lost the connectivity with sir. That this co-assembler model, it's very interesting that you are not envisaging a centralized assembling or a production facility. You are really going to the hinterland. You are really going and making the made in India or make in India stuff right at the marketing or distribution level, this at the top level. So what is this all about? Let's
Sure. Sure. When we thought of having eASHWA spread all over the country, so we thought as to how is it possible for us to do it in a very short period of time. Now, if you take the example of Maruti, so if I remember it correctly, Maruti started in somewhere around 1980s, 82, 83 kind of period, and it took them about 10 years to spread all over India. Now, we were not having that kind of time frame available, and this is not the age wherein we can wait for 10 to 12 years for a company to spread all over the India. And hence we thought as to what is the better, faster way for us to spread all over the India. And our thinking took us to the place where we thought of this concept called co-assembly unit. Now, there are two peculiar feature of this industry. One feature is that this particular segment is a volumetric segment. Weight wise, the vehicle is not that much, but if you compare it to the volume of equivalent weight, then it is too high a volume, and hence transportation or the logistic cost is one of the biggest cost of this segment. If we keep our manufacturing unit centrally located at, say, Ghaziabad, where we are currently based, and if we think of commuting material from here to deep inside the Andhra Pradesh or to deep inside the Tamil Nadu or to Kerala or to Jammu and Kashmir or to West Bengal, I don't think we will be able to compete with the local players which have set up their unit locally. Now, in order for us to compete with the local player and at the same time provide quality to the people all over the country at par with the quality which we are able to provide in the place where we are located, we thought of this concept called co-assembly unit. Now, the two beauties of this co-assembly unit is that we open this co-assembly unit along with a local investor who is willing to invest not only the money, but the management bandwidth and the time along with us. Now, this is a joint venture private limited company which we create along with our local investor, wherein both of us have 50% shareholding in the company. Now, all the technical know-how, all the approvals, all the branding, all the trademark, all those things are provided by us. And then the local management as well as the local connect and the local operation is handled by the other party, which is the investor who has partnered with us. In this fashion, we have so far created 28 co-assembly units. On an overall basis, we have those 62 units in the country. Any of our dealer will be have will have approach to the nearest co-assembly unit at max at a distance of 50 to 60 kilometers. Now, the advantage which it will give to the end user is that they have the comfort that the vehicle is being manufactured locally. See what happened when this electric vehicle came about 12 years back.
Okay.
So 12 years back, electric vehicles were directly imported from China and sold in the Indian market. Now, there was no ecosystem created for the repair, maintenance, servicing, as well as warranty for the vehicle. And as a result, it became a very big flop show. And in case we want to create it as a success story, then we will have to create ecosystem for repair, maintenance, warranty, as well as to create a goodwill among the user, so that one user create us 10 to 12 users at a long term basis. Now, how we can do that? Only when we are giving them the comfort that in case something happens with the vehicle, there is a unit situated next to you. You can go up to the manufacturing plant. A Maruti user or a Hyundai user or a Honda user can never go to the plant of Maruti, Hyundai or Honda. but our user can very well go to a plant because that plant is situated just next to the user, and that plant is not that huge giant. That plant is a small MSME entity which is giving employment to the people working with them, as well as employment through the people who are running those kind of vehicles. So that was the whole idea of creating the co-assembly unit, and trust me, it has been a successful model so far. And whosoever we share this idea of co-assembly unit, out of the three models of dealer, distributor, and co-assembly unit, if budget is not a constraint, it becomes the first choice of the person whosoever we are discussing. Because they get the sense of having a tag of manufacturer. That is one, which is very good tag. And in Indian scenario, very rarely you get an opportunity to become a manufacturer of something which is being run, which is being used by a mass scale of people.
Yes.
So you are giving them an opportunity to become a manufacturer for something which is being used by mass scale of people, which is being used by your next door neighbor, which is being used by somebody who is a relative of yours. So this is the beauty of this entire concept, that you give them a sense of achievement, you give them a sense of accomplishment.
So here comes the beauty of this entire model, and I would say that the recently created Ministry of Cooperation would really find this case study strikingly enough, because in the cooperative space, it is all at the bottom of the pyramid activities like animal husbandry or agriculture or the primary produce. But in the corporate structure, under a private limited structuring, you have really extended the spirit of cooperation, and probably the because being a finance man himself, being a chartered accountant, being a company secretary who has deeper nuances of the laws and the IP protection, and obviously the expansion of it all. Because one of the biggest, I would say, criticism of Indian MSME sector is they are not able to expand, they are not able to scale up the way West has done. So West is a thought process of domination. Ki one plant, now Maruti has shifted its Desire manufacturing from its Manesar plant to Gujarat. Now all over the country, they would be using big trucks. And as Sir has put, now I will come to the other aspect of it, that financiers know everything of it all, and they know everything in numbers. And as we engineering students learn that, as Lord Kelvin said, that if you cannot express anything in numbers, you don't know anything about it. So that is where Vikas sir comes from, that he knows the balance sheets very easily. Ki, bhai, if I am doing a centralized facility, so he has numbers of everything, and his commitment is so high that instead of controlling it all, he is distributing it right into the hinterland, and this creates huge employment. One of the biggest problems today is the centralization of workforce in the urban destinations. Now, if these whatever name we call it, co-assembling units or manufacturing plants, they would be attracting so many of local talent for the works and the allied aspects over there. So it's a wonderful mechanism, and we would really like to cheerlead this. This is one of the most striking factors of it all. We were going through some very interesting aspects, and I think nothing remains away from your one of the very important things in your emotivative factor. You have talked about the outstanding turning radius part. Now this you have put up as a very, I would say, on the face of it, on the homepage of your website.
Yeah.
So why you picked up this? Because is it so very important in the e-mobility space that you chose it amongst the four facets of eASHWA's initiative out there?
Yeah. So see, this is basically, if you want to be successful in the e-mobility segment, you will have to handle all the four segments which it is comprising of.
Okay.
So you not only, you can't restrict yourself only to the manufacturing segment. You will have to create a ecosystem for the charging mechanism. You will have to create an ecosystem for the service, repair, maintenance, those kind of activities as well. And unless and until you are creating a complete ecosystem which can support this entire segment, you can't think of a successful model. That is where we have come from. that in case we want to create a huge industry which is giving employment to multiple people at the level of not only the workers or not only the white collar employment, but also the owners of those organizations, but also the owners of the dealership, distributorship, and the assembly unit. So you will have to create a complete ecosystem, and that ecosystem, without creating that ecosystem, you can't succeed in the industry.
Okay, okay. One other striking factor which we just saw it, because again, it's a founded by a CFO and founder, that very rarely we see that the price of the e-mobility vehicles are divulged in such a transparent and an open-ended fashion. People keep on guessing, अरे भैया कितना महंगा होगा, कितना नहीं होगा, डीलर के पास जाएंगे, क्या कट देगा. Sir, what really inspired you to put it on the face of it all, very clearly, very transparently, at least the ballpark figures, so that people can start comparing it with the other IC engine stuff, the knowledge you have put up on the portal very boldly. So, what is your philosophy, driving philosophy behind it?
Okay, okay. So when I was in my studies. So the keyword which were taught to us when I was completing my chartered accountancy was transparency, and that is where we have come to. So now, if we are not transparent with all our partners, I think we will never be successful. We can't treat them as a partner. We can very well treat them as somebody who is buying, who is acting in the capacity of buyer with us. But in case we want to treat them, if you see, we have mentioned a section called partner portal. So we don't consider our dealer, our distributor as our buyer. We consider them as our partner. And if you are not transparent with them, I think you are not doing the justice with the word partnership. So to be more transparent, to be more honest to the end user as well as to our partner, we will have to disclose all the numbers, all the details. If you click any of these details, any of these pictures, you'll go to the complete details of the vehicle.
Okay.
So if you go to the vehicle section in the website, if you go to the vehicle section in the website, go to vehicle section, go to e-scooter, just click e-scooter. No, click just e-scooter only.
Okay.
Now you have all the type of e-scooters appearing here. Click any of those e-scooter and you will get 100% detail of that e-scooter. Just click one of them. So you get every detail, and then you get the colors and the pictures of the vehicle itself.
Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. I think, sir, this was somewhere lacking in the whole ecosystem. There's a lot of talk about environmental friendliness, but at the end of the day, it is the brass tacks of finance, it is brass tacks of charging time. You have put up the battery details, you have put up the motor power, all the key yardsticks, because these are what helps. And in fact, it's helpful for the youngsters, especially in the two-wheeler segment. Why should I buy this model or this model? You've and the braking part also. So it's lovely. It's lovely. I think we move on to our one last aspect of it all, that we have seen in the Auto Expo shows that all the major brands of the country have got their own brand ambassadors. And friends, we would love to say that even if Sir says that it is an MSME, but his vision is, I think, what we say, that think globally and act locally. It's an entirely corporatized and top of the league vision, that eASHWA has got its own set of brand ambassadors as well. So, sir, how come and who are they and what they represent? What is the underlying brand what eASHWA puts? Yeah.
So see, when it comes the word brand ambassador, people think about Bollywood, Hollywood kind of celebrities. We have never thought of a product which is meant for for that elite class of people.
Mm-hmm.
Our people is meant for general people, mass scale of people, and hence we decided that our brand ambassador will be from the common people.
Mm-hmm.
People who represent you, who represent me, who represent Tapan, those kind of people. And Mannat Goyal, Simran, and Rahul Jasuja are the one who represent any one of us,
Okay.
and have a good fan followers at the Instagram, at the like Mannat is if you type Mannat Goyal on the Google, you will find our brand ambassador Mannat Goyal comes on the top of the list. And
Okay.
believe me, it is just a organic. Just type Mannat Goyal, you'll find it is Mannat Goel.
Okay. Yeah, she's there. Yeah.
Yeah. So she comes on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have not heard of her before engaging with her. We have also not heard of her, but then we liked her profile, then we liked her candidature, and we found her one out of us, and that is where we thought of engaging with her and to get. So now I step ahead very recently. Last week we have got a photo shoot done for for the state specific branding. Now, we have recently entered into Gujarat and we have recently entered into Andhra Pradesh. So we have our last two shoots are of Gujarat and Maharashtra, and we are the first company who is bringing state specific promotional activities through a brand ambassador. So
Okay.
next week you will find a lot of brand promotional activities done by us, which are specific to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, as well as to the Gujarat state. So this is another thing which we are bringing into
I think there is not a single area of the entire ecosystem of e-mobility which probably eASHWA and its I would say fascinating founder has thought of and implemented with the due commitment with which he started it off. From technological brilliance, as we can see that he's the website. Nobody, we have been researching a lot, many of them, but nobody has talked about the whole question of turning radius. Now, this is so very important, the balancing factor of it. And the other areas, they have very clear aspects about the numbers of environment, of sturdiness, their model of creating the co-assemblers down the districts for rapid expansion. And on the fascinating frontiers, they have the brand ambassadors and transparency. Obviously, transparency and trust really remains the bedrock at eASHWA. Sir, it has been a terrific interaction with you, loads of learning, and I think eASHWA really qualifies to be in the top of the league of the futuristic websites, I think futuristic platforms for e-mobility vehicles. And the kind of assortment which you have got and the kind of detailing you have provided, I think for all electrical engineering students per se, this is worth, I would say, worth studying. These are the parameters on which you have to compare, you have to really rate and rank and understand the whole dynamics of e-mobility. Thanks a lot, sir, for joining us, taking out time from your extremely busy schedule and illumining us and the entire audience through this platform. And we hope the mandate and mission you have taken up, कि unemployment के खिलाफ एक जंग जो आपने छेड़ी है, and you are really one of the, जो मैंने कहा कि in the spirit of cooperation, the way you have expanded, I think this model, loads of other players would take inspiration from eASHWA and really, I would say कि अपने घोड़े को आगे बढ़ाते हुए एक आत्मनिर्भर भारत की तरफ आपने जो आहुति दी है, वो सभी उसमें और जुड़ेंगे, आपसे प्रेरणा लेंगे. You are really a inspiration for the entire industry, sir. Thank you so much for being with us. And goodbye. Thank you. Yeah.
My pleasure, and thanks a lot for your kind words. And it was really a pleasure interacting with you.
Sir,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.